Welcome to TGIF, and today's word is response.
Did you say something? I mean, think about it. We respond all day long to different things. Things that we see on the news, questions people ask us. And one thing I'm learning about response, our grand boys, they don't respond very well. Tell them what to do or what not to do, and pretty much they ignore. I mean, have you experienced being ignored or ignoring by choosing not to respond? And probably RSVP, when you're invited to something, that RSVP is for you to respond if you're going or not. And we live in a world that doesn't think they have to respond. They'll go if it's convenient.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the challenges we have with God. We respond to God when it's convenient, and God is not happy with that. We're in the book just starting with Ezekiel, and Ezekiel is an interesting prophet. He's in that same time as Jeremiah. So the people of Israel, Jerusalem, they are drifting away from God. They're doing their own thing. They're not responding to God when God tells them to do something or has them do something. They don't believe, so they're not listening to prophets that they should be. They're not listening to God and how they should be living their lives. And so they're in this place, this stuck place again, with Ezekiel having to try to bring this message, this calling on his life. But the book of Ezekiel is really complex. When you look at all the different books of the Bible, Ezekiel is very complex because it's like a book like Revelation. It's a book that has these visions. And these visions, it's hard when you think of any kind of creatures, and we're going to have one here, in this book that's really different. It has 4 faces. We've never experienced anything that has 4 faces, and these wheels, what do the wheels represent? And they seem to move with these creatures, and so it's really complicated, but what we're trying to figure out is design for purpose. This book has a purpose. Yeah, it is to tell the people in the day that they need to follow God and respond to God, but that's the challenge. And so this book begins just before the Babylonian exile, but it is going to have time in that exile as well, because Ezekiel does get carted off with the many people that get carted off to captivity. And so when we look at this first chapter and what we want to look at, it's trying to understand that he is trying to give people hope. There's still a lot of hope in this book. But it also deals with these end times, or this destruction of Jerusalem that, like them, we can't even understand. So it's hard. It's a big challenge. And so, as people of God, we do not like change. We should obey God and respond to God's call on our lives. But it's hard. It's very hard. And so our scripture reading today is Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 28.
All around him was a glowing halo, like a rainbow shining in the clouds on a rainy day. This is what the glory of the Lord looked like to me. When I saw it, I fell face down on the ground, and I heard someone's voice speaking to me.
And I hope you read all of chapter 1, because it's these images, and Ezekiel is seeing all this, and at some point he realizes, wow, I'm in the presence of God. And like I said, for us, we go about our daily busyness, and we're so busy. I think if one of those visions popped in, it'd probably get our attention because it's so out there. But in our everyday life, God is trying to connect with us, trying to reveal how he wants us to live. And so when it comes to change and how we live, if we're enjoying life, we really don't want to change. We don't respond to God maybe saying, hey, I need you to do this for me, or go and serve in this place, or give something in this place. And so I think it's a big challenge for us.
If you're watching in current time, we just finished with Vacation Bible School yesterday, and one of the activities the kids do each day is called God Sightings. It's where they see things in nature, in people, situations, and they recognize it's God at work, and they respond to it with thanksgiving, or responding to it with prayer, or in awe of creation. And you think about it, we should be doing that every day. We should be responding each and every day to the creation God has blessed us with. I mean, like you said, we get so busy, and do we ever just stop and look at all the things God has created? I mean, maybe if we start there and then looking in each situation, circumstance within our day and they're all over the place. Okay, God, where are you at work? Where are you at work? Because in those, God's probably tugging at us with guidance of what to say or how to respond or how to help someone. So that whole response, I mean, that's what we were really trying to teach the kids.
I think if we see danger coming, like a hurricane or a tornado, a big windstorm, it describes it as this big windstorm's coming, we need to make a choice. We need to make some decisions in that moment, right? How are we going to go for safety or whatever? And this is coming towards Ezekiel, and it is through nature that God is creating this big windstorm to get his attention. Not that we should wait out there for a hurricane and start waiting for God,
Right.
but it's that idea of how is God every day, like you said, those
Right.
sightings and being a part of that. So Ezekiel is going to have this vision that's filled with this awe and this power of God. And when he truly embraces it all, it's like, wow, this is God. And it's important to understand how he's working through everything, because the image of that rainbow that we see, that image of the rainbow, it connects us back to the Genesis story and reminds us that after the flood, there was this rainbow, right? And God had made this promise. And so Ezekiel is trying to see what's going on here, understand everything, but understanding that God promised not to, destroy. And so he's trying to figure out how to embrace this, and all he can do is respond by face down. He's face down on the ground and understands that this is the power of God.
And we shouldn't wait for something spectacular to recognize and fall face down in thanking God for an answer, a major prayer that you had, a huge,
Or just in his awe, right, too.
Right.
Just
Well,
like, look at everything he does every day.
right. That's where I was going with that. Is we can't wait for the big if we're not learning how to give him glory and praise and recognition in the small.
I like that.
So starting small, because we wait for the big moment, and then it's like, oh, and then we start praying, or I should have prayed, and it's like if we learn that to be just kind of a daily act
That's good.
of in the small things, then in the big things they shouldn't catch us by surprise. Because I mean, my goodness, he created everything you're looking at. So our question today: what is your response to God's presence in your own life? God is present in your life. He is present in each of our lives. What is our response to just that? Outside of you being a creation of God, how do you respond to God knowing he created you? I mean, start there. And I think sometimes we forget that because we get so wrapped up in all the things within the day. So next week, we're going to move on to Ezekiel chapter 2.
2 and 3.
Oh, sorry, 2 and 3. See you next time on TGIF. Bye.